May I ask you, ma'am, during your childhood, this corporal punishment or using cane was there or not?
Yes. Yes, it definitely was in our early childhood, in our early education. At grammar school, it was mostly the boys, I would say, who were the naughtiest. If they were really naughty, the teacher would use a ruler. Sometimes they'd throw the blackboard cleaner at the boy, or a big ruler, and they would whack the table, sometimes the child. If they were really naughty, you were sent to the headmaster's office, and then you knew you were in trouble, and they would again get the cane. But now this is all stopped. It's now a serious problem with they call it child abuse, and so they don't use it anymore.
I see.
No. But yes, it was common in our childhood.
Okay, ma'am, I have a question for you. Now the job atmosphere, it has changed a lot. Okay, job atmosphere. So what changes do you see now?
Well, the workplace has changed tremendously.
Right.
In fact, lots of people work at home. You don't necessarily have to go into the office.
Telecommuting.
You don't have to
telecommuting.
You don't have to do the daily commute.
I technology.
Because of technology,
Right,
of course. And it means that people can be just effective from their own homes and carry out all aspects of their employment without having to travel to work, incurring more expenses, etc. I think one of the downsides to that might be that people often feel that they have to work more when they're working from home because they're not being supervised, and most people need to show that they have done what they're supposed to be doing. It also was the case when I was working. I've been retired for 10 years now, and there have been even more changes since I retired. That if you go into a large office of an organisation, you no longer have your own desk. You take part in what we call hot desking. Because there are no longer secretaries to do work, you now have everybody types all of their own correspondence.
Right.
We don't necessarily bother with the formality of letters. Most correspondence is about a quick email.
At work, stress and tension is on the increase?
I'm sorry?
At work, stress and tension. Is it on the increase?
I think we hear those words much more often. I can remember myself over 25 years ago at work hearing something about stress and thinking, that doesn't apply to me. But my boss was very quick to point out that everybody suffers from stress. Well, I'm not so sure. I think people are less inclined nowadays. They want to put a name, a tag on every kind of emotion.
Right.
It may be that there is more stress in the workplace, but some of that could be self-made, or maybe because there is so much bureaucracy surrounding jobs nowadays that this can put an added stress on to the job itself.
Can I say,
yes, ma'am.
with that stress, men, especially now, have to be careful what they say to the women in the office. They have to be very careful with their words, the way they treat the ladies, etc. And that must be a terrible stress for them. That sort of thing.
That phrase has become so common now. Me too.
Yes, yes. But
that's in India also now. Okay, the other thing regarding education system, there is some changes I see everywhere.
Yes.
So in your country, most of the youngsters go to work after +2. That means after 12th grade or something like that, or they prefer to go to university.
A lot of people are very keen on university. They think their degree opens many doors to them. There are silly degree courses now I can't think of any at the moment, but not relevant to the jobs that they're going to do. But they can come out of university and say, I've got a degree. That doesn't always mean that they're going to get a wonderful job, because there are so many youngsters now with a degree, it's lessened the value of it.
I think what we are also keen on is reintroducing or making it more prevalent to do trade training.
Apprenticeships.
Yes.
Oh.
It was one of our Prime Ministers, Tony Blair, in the 1970s, 1997, I think, who got elected on a sort of mantra of education, education, education. And the aim was to send as many young people into university as possible.
Okay.
Now, university, of course, has got to be a good thing, because learning is a great thing, and education means that we will always progress. But it is not always the fact that all young people are able to go to university, have the capacity to do so, or can afford to do so. And we must remember that we will always need good tradesmen too. So the idea of apprenticeships is still something that we should be promoting.